Perfect. Thank you for stroking my ego. I promise I'll back it up. Successful people don't drink. That is the lesson I've taught myself over the last 2.5 years. In September 2021, thank you, I decided that I'd give up a lifetime habit. He's not listening. Of getting pissed on my own. Embarrassed I wouldn't swear. And to keep myself accountable, because that's what it's all about, isn't it? Who's tried to start a new habit? Show of hands, who's tried to start a new habit? Yeah, I don't care, that's just for the video, but thank you for putting your hand up. Because that also looks really good too. Stay on track, Todd. If you want to stick to a habit, you need to be accountable. And I thought I could employ someone. I could ask some good friends to keep me accountable. I could have a buddy. And I thought the best person to keep myself accountable is me. So, I thought, what do I know a lot about? What have I got a lot of access to? What's free? And what's in the back of my pocket right now? My social media. So, with much trepidation, I posted on Facebook, I've quit drinking forever. And I asked people to do 2 things. One of them was to support my decision and not try and be a crab in a bucket and pull me back down. No, come back to the pub, you've made a terrible decision. And the other one was to continue to take the mickey out of me, because that was going to happen anyway. Within 24 hours, thanks to Amazon, you may have heard of them, I got 24 cans of beer through the post from my good friend Michael Nagels. But they were alcohol-free beers. He understood the assignment perfectly. So I used Facebook for about a year to share my story, share my journey, share what was happening. And if I'm honest, as you all now know, it was totally self-serving. It was all for me. And I got to a year, and after a lot of mickey taking from my friends, they said, you really got to stop talking about this now. Oh, have you quit drinking? You haven't mentioned it much. Now, if you do follow me on social media, you'll know that I talk a lot on social media. So I said, okay, a year's sobriety, that'll do. I'll stop. So I posted on Facebook and said, okay, I'll stop now. It's okay. I'll go back to talking about marketing and docs and my daughter Bob. And people said, no, I like your posts. I'm sharing them with my family and people who are struggling with alcohol. You've got to keep going. Oh, go on then. So I carried on. But I've always wanted to start from scratch with a social media channel, because that's what we do with our clients. We start from absolute ground zero all the time. How many followers have you got? 3. Oh shit, okay. Sorry Dave, that's 3 times I've sworn now. And I always wanted to do it for my own channel. I wanted to take one topic, go really deep on that topic on one channel and take every single thing I know about social media and apply it and try and go viral. Now it's not about going viral. Been on GB News today, nothing will happen because of that for my business. Joe and I were in the Sun a few months ago, nothing will happen to our business because of that. It isn't about going viral, that's not the message I want you to take away today. I just wanted to see how easy it would be. So I'm going to share with you loads of tips now for TikTok. Don't worry, if you hate TikTok, so did I. I downloaded the app. I said this to John on our podcast this week. And it was just full of young ladies twerking. And I thought, how am I going to do that? I'm 45 years old. And then I realised it's actually based on what you search on the internet. So I cleared my cookies and I started it again. And now it's full of young ladies in the gym instead. I feel like it's a slight improvement, Joe, but not one that you're looking for. I digress. So, all of these tips are for your TikTok, but they're also for your social media as well. So you can take every single one of these and apply it, because I took everything I know about social media, applied it to TikTok, and I'll tell you in a minute what happened. Some of you may already know. Tip 1, if you're taking notes, this is tip number 1. This is full of tips. That's what I was told. Tips. By the way, I forgot to put my timer on, so you've got to keep telling me how much time I've got left. Tip 1, you've got to create content that's relevant to a wide audience. There's too much talking of niche, or if you're American, niche. If you're too niche with what you talk about, you won't appeal to a wide audience, and your reach and your engagement will be poor. So when I talked about alcohol, Most of you drink alcohol, right? I'm not judging you, by the way. I'm not anti-alcohol. Do you drink alcohol? There's a knowing nod there. I'm doing it right now. Julie? What now? I mean, it's 5 o'clock somewhere, love. Cheers. So it's a relevant topic, and then I took a niche within that relevant topic. So that's tip number 1. Make sure your content appeals to a wide-ranging audience. Next 2. Step 2. This is a challenge for me. Get to the point. On TikTok, people don't want to hear you breathe. No, they've gone. Hi guys, they've gone. I just thought I'd hop on, they've definitely gone. Stop hopping on. Stop hopping on. Don't pop on, pop off. Okay? No one wants to see you hop on. Unless it's Easter with a bunny, relevant. Get to the point straight away. Your hook, the beginning of your videos, has to be really, really to the point. It has to be a pattern interrupt. It's got to get their attention. Sometimes it's got to be something they didn't expect you to say. Take as out what you will. Verity, keep it clean. The next thing, it's going to sound rather gangster, but I've always wanted to say this, keep it real. The best type of content on TikTok right now, and this is good news for all of you, is the horrible, grainy, nasty, homemade, DIY, I just found a smartphone down the side of the sofa type of video. It's really unprofessional. So much so that people like John, who are actually good at videos, are pretending they're rubbish at videos by holding the lapel mic in front of me. Oh, what's this thing here? I don't know what I'm doing. They're doing it on purpose. Because we don't trust the media. We don't trust polished content. We don't trust it anymore. Thankfully, we actually like real life people again. So keep your content authentic. Keep it real. The next one, we talked about SEO a bit earlier on. We talked about keywords. We talked about specifically what your audience type into Google, what your audience say, the words they use. Those are the words you need to speak about in your content. So if you ever watch a TikTok video, who's been down a TikTok rabbit hole? Yeah, what was it on?
Probably dogs.
Probably dogs. You should meet my partner Jo, who I'm not married to. That's what she does. Any particular niche of dogs? Bichon, super niche, wide audience, you see? Now, when you watch TikTok dogs, you'll get more TikTok dogs because TikTok knows you like dogs. So you need to work out what your audience like, what they are interested in, and speak to that, talk about that, and use those exact words in your speech, in your content, and yes, Dave, in the hashtags. 60 years old. How old are you, Dave?
Nearly 61 now.
Jeez. He looks good, doesn't he? I mean, I know his Botox dealer, so you know. The next thing to do, now, this is easy for some, not so easy for others, is to be yourself, even if you're Andrew Bonar. Being yourself is your unique proposition. It's your thing, your USP. Loads of people do what you do, but only you do what you do in the way that you do it. So you need to be yourself. I'm giving you permission to be yourself, even you. Be yourself. Everybody else is taken. It really, really works on TikTok. I'm talking about sobriety on TikTok. It annoys a lot of people. Mostly people like me 3 years ago. I was that guy 3 years ago, by the way. Dickhead. 5 times, sorry. I told you this would be hard. GB News, though, is clean from there. So be yourself. The next tip. This is probably more challenging, but it's really, really important. Be consistent. Have a consistent intro, have a consistent style, have a consistent approach, have a consistent background. Wear the same t-shirt. Have something that's consistent, because we all like to know what we're going to get, don't we? We like to know what's coming up. So, think about how you start your videos. Think about how you create your videos. Think about the way that you explain things and try and keep it consistent. I'm not saying don't change it up, but if you're a Santa Claus lookalike, please stand up, Santa. I know him. That is absolutely a big round of applause for Santa. This man is smashing it on TikTok. What's your TikTok handle?
Jim Kringle.
Jim Kringle.
With a K.
With a K. Sit down, Jim. Thank you very much. Jim is smashing on TikTok because his content is consistent. He had a genius move. He posted online on TikTok the good and the bad list. Now, no one's on the bad list, but everyone wants to be on the good list. So every day there are literally thousands of parents putting their children's name in there, because then he reads them out the next day and says, Chloe's on the good list. Absolutely smashed it. Dead simple, really consistent. Do you think he likes doing the same video every day? Yes, he does. Be consistent. The next thing, I've talked about it quite a bit, but I want to give you an example, is your background to your video. Think about the background. Now I want to give you an example from the BBC. Sorry, GB News, they're still here. Do you remember, years ago, there was a lady being interviewed on the news, and she was talking about something really important. I can't remember what it was, because I was fixated by the fact that she'd left something that should really be in her bedroom, on the bookshelf. I mean, it must have run out of batteries. She just put it there for safekeeping and thought, I'm just going to go on the news and then I'll change those batteries and I'll put it back into the bottom drawer. And she put it onto the shelf of her book. You all know what I'm talking about. Dirty people. Everyone was fixated in the background. It keeps people engaged because TikTok is ADHD central. If I was on TikTok now, you'd have scrolled ages ago, but you can't leave because you're British and you're polite. But on TikTok, you'd have done this to my face ages ago. You are in ADHD central. Put something in the background to keep their attention. It doesn't have to be a battery-operated toy. I just thought I'd say that because some of you are already writing that tip down. The next tip, I want you to edit your videos, but just slightly. No one wants to hear you breathe. No one wants to hear you go, ah. No one wants you to repeat the point. Watch your videos back. It's painful at first. And then take out all the bits that you don't need in there, so it gets to the point very quickly, and it's short and sharp. The next tip, get one of these. Well, not one of these, get one of these. A little lapel mic. The sound is really important on TikTok videos. Don't make your videos with beautiful quality video and awful sound, because so many people will listen to your videos. I know technically it's illegal to listen to YouTube videos, if there are any police officers listening, but people still do it. The quality of your sound is important. These are so cheap. Well, not this one. This is John's one. And if you don't notice, I'm just going to leave with it. Leave it in my bucket. Next tip, you can definitely do this on all social media, is post when people are online. Post when they're there. Now, I don't know the actual answer to this, and you can Google this and get 6 million results, and they'll all be different. Think about, when do you think your audience are going to be online? Test it, trial it, ask them. Ask them when they're online. Check analytics. I'm sure Gus will talk about that with LinkedIn. Look at the analytics, look at data. Post when they're there. I know my audience are going to respond to my videos more between 5 and 7 p.m. at night, because that's just about when they go into the fridge to get a beer out. And some of them actually watch my videos to keep themselves accountable. And the last tip, this is where the hard work comes in. I want you to reply to every single comment. All of them. Because you need engagement. You need engagement in this content, and the only way to get that is to drive engagement. Social media channels want you to pull people back to those videos, and every time you comment on someone's reply, they get a little red notification bell, and it pulls them back to their content. So how did I do? How did I go viral? Did I go viral? Did I make it? Within 60 days, I reached 6 million people. I had 2 videos go over 2 million. I was in global press, national press, and local press. I've been in the Sun recently. We got a lot of attention for taking those tips and putting them into place for a year. And this is the final tip. Most people give up too soon. They take some tips, some advice, they think it's going to work, and they try it, and they quit after a couple of months. Nothing works without consistency. You have to be consistent. Oh, and I'm still sober, 966 days today. Successful people don't drink. They go viral on TikTok. They take all of their advice, all of their tips, and they put it into practice. I would love it if you put this content into practice on your social media. It works. But the bad news is you've actually got to do it for more than 10 minutes. If you want these tips, I know there's no PowerPoint, but I've actually put it on a QR code. Good luck scanning it from there. He's going to do it though, aren't you going to do it? Just a selfie. That was an awkward moment there. I'm going to put it on this table here, just come and scan it. If you also want to give this talk yourself to someone else, all my notes are on the back. So you can just pretend to be me. I don't know why you'd want to do that. Thank you so much for listening. Joe has the QR code as well. Cheers.
Just one point I picked up on during your journey was you were posting all the time about, giving up, and then you went to the gym and all of these things happened, and then people started to sound worried about you. You're eating chicken every day, and you're going to the gym and you're taking ice baths and you're getting up at 5 o'clock. You're going to do yourself some harm.
4:30.
4:30. And you made a comment, you said, it's funny that you're all complaining now that I take ice baths and I'm up at 4:30 and then you're worried about the amount of sleep and that I'm eating chicken every day. No one put anything on the thread when they saw pictures of me drunk in the car park at the pub. Not one person said,
when I quit,
worried about you.
When I quit, people said they were worried about me. And I know I don't want to be on a pedestal, but I am. It's weird in this country, like it's totally acceptable to drink most of the prizes today I drink, and I get it, that's what I used to do. Even post-quitting, I still take a bottle of champagne from a raffle on the... It's madness, it's just what we do. But you're right, Dave, people didn't question it at the time because it's normal, and then afterwards, mostly ladies actually said, I was actually worried about you, but I didn't know how to say it. So having TikTok and putting this content out there has really helped people reach out to me and people like me. To this day, actually, I get messages every day, and about 1,000 people so far have quit drinking because of the content I put on TikTok, which is nuts.
And you're known as the sober cowboy, I think, on TikTok. I've not downloaded the app because I'm just worried.
It's full of ladies.
I'll never get off the damn thing, because I'll be scrolling. But you mentioned there that you're not going to sell much, you're not going to grow your business necessarily. So what's the payback apart from ego, maybe? I've had 1,000 views, 1 million views.
Yeah, the point I was making there is you don't need to go viral. What you need to do is impact this room. There's enough business in this room. If you're worried about going viral on TikTok, but you're not connecting on LinkedIn with every single person in this room, like this gentleman here who said he wanted to buy my stuff this morning, I've got his details, I'm going to connect with him. Going viral is not what you need to do. We're all given this thing as you've got to go viral. You don't need to do that, you just need to impact the people you want to work with.
So why should we be on TikTok? I can see Jim as well, because by the way, if you don't know, he is actually a proper Santa Claus. He's not just been picked on today. I mean, you wear a red suit and all sorts. But that would grow your business. I could see that people go, we should book him for our next party.
Yeah, definitely.
He looks like it. So where's the payback business-wise?
It's the very top of your sales funnel. You've got to be seen, you've got to be out there. I've got asked to speak here today because of my TikTok journey. That's going to help my business. Someone's going to buy from me. That's how it works. So it's not necessarily the opportunity you get from the platform, it's the conversations that come from it. And people accuse me of being everywhere. And that's funny, but it's actually good for awareness as well. It means people see us around, they trust us, they feel like they can approach us. So no, it's not going to apply to everyone. I'm sure Jim's had opportunities.
I've got slightly different experience because I think I'm a bit different, but I was invited to podcasts and Santa. I've had people travel to events that I've appeared at because they've seen me on TikTok, and they've travelled 50 miles because I'm there. They phoned up and got a ticket.
So it's raised your awareness.
I mean, that is a great example, but the one, wasn't there a chip shop in Coventry?
Binley Mega Chippy. Sing the song! Binley Mega Chippy. We're near here, aren't we? It's near here.
Yes, around these areas, so we know it works. Listen, what was really great about that is that GB News just came in and filmed you. I don't know whether you saw that from the side. So you're going to be on the... we're going to be sick of the side.
When I was being horrible about the BBC, I think that's why they did it. They're like, story about sex toys in the BBC, let's get it on.
Anyway, listen, for now, give it up for Todd.